So guys, I thought it was time that we did a Cardano review. As you guys know, Cardano is one of our top rated projects here at Cheeky Crypto. It's got a great tech and a great team behind it. Now, I do urge you guys to do your own research above and beyond just this video, but I do think this is a good starting position for those who are new to the space or wanting to know a little bit more about Cardano. Let's roll that intro and get right down into it. So let's start off by explaining what Cardano is. Cardano is a proof-of-stake blockchain platform, the first to be founded on peer-reviewed research and developed through evidence-based methods. It combines pioneering technologies to provide unparalleled security and sustainability to decentralized applications, systems, and societies. The Cardano blockchain can be used to build smart contracts and in turn create decentralized applications and protocols. The Cardano blockchain has the ability to send and receive funds instantly for minimal fees, has many applications in the world of business and in finance. Now, instead of trying to thwart the global regulators, Cardano is building a blockchain with regulations in mind to provide financial services to all, unbanked the unbanked. For Chris and myself, this all plays a big role into why we invested so early. Cardano is looking to solve many of the blockchain industry's current problems, including the use of mathematics to provide a provable, secure blockchain that is less prone to attacks, separation of accounting and computational layers, creating or the creation of a secured voting mechanism for token holders and governance, and a consensus mechanism that is infinitely scalable. So why does Cardano matter? Cardano is different from its competitors in many, many ways. Unlike most of the competitors, Cardano depends heavily on its academic sector. The platform's design was built from the ground up, utilizing evidence-based methods grounded in scientific philosophy and academic theory, and then finally finalized via peer-reviewed research. There have been hundreds of papers written. Okay guys, let's talk about Cardano use cases. The Cardano developers have some very hefty goals for Cardano. The team seeks to restore trust in the global economy systems via the integration of Cardano technologies. Specifically, the platform introduces a more secure, transparent, and sustainable way to conduct business internationally. To add to this, the Cardano developers seek to provide the world's unbanked population access to financial services. Sadly, estimates have placed the unbanked population at well over 1.7 billion people currently. Cardano has projects currently underway in Africa and other parts of the developing world. They are working with projects like World Mobile to connect more people to the web, as well as, in my opinion, create new economies and change many people's lives. Another goal of Cardano is to help stabilize the dApp sector. The platform has a focus on security and sustainability specifically applied to decentralized applications, systems, and societies. Speaking on their goals, Cardano developers stated they intend to provide a more balanced and sustainable ecosystem that better accounts for the needs of its users as well as other systems seeking integration. We have also seen updates on the Lace wallet, or an App Store style approach, being detailed in interviews that we've also had with Charles Hoskinson. As an open source platform for smart contracts, Cardano accommodates a wide range of other use cases, solving problems across multiple industries. These include things like retail, education, government, finance, agriculture, and of course, that one that we've spoken about a fair amount of times, healthcare. Okay, that's all good and everything, but how does Cardano work? Well, Cardano is a third-generation cryptocurrency, and Cardano attempts to tackle some of the most common issues facing Layer 1 blockchain adoption. These issues cover a number of blockchain concerns, including topics like scalability, interoperability, sustainability, and security. And so Cardano seeks to basically solve these issues through the development of design principles and engineering best practices. Okay, so let's talk about some of these issues in a little bit more detail. Scalability. In the early days of Cardano could only handle a small number of transactions per second, also known as TPS. However, Charles Hoskinson did release a paper explaining the new scaling solution for the network, known as Hydra. Hydra is a layer 2 scaling solution that utilizes state channels to process transactions off-chain. Using this technology, Cardano is able to process well over 1 million transactions per second. Then we have interoperability. There are thousands of cryptocurrencies, each with their own characteristics, benefits, and ecosystems. Cardano attempts to introduce standards into the market to enable interoperability across networks. These systems include blockchain governance models, system upgrade protocols, and feature sets. Okay guys, let's talk about security. So allowing blockchain interoperability does introduce new set of risks that developers must address. The Cardano platform has standards for managing privacy, security, and decentralization. In fact, it's easier to write secure code with the Cardano programming language than insecure code. And for me, this is a very big deal. You consider the number of hacks that we have seen in the last few years or so, and it's very important to understand that some of these hacks and these issues could have been resolved just by writing more secure code. Okay guys, let's lift the hood and check out what is powering the Cardano blockchain. The Ouroboros protocol. With a proof-of-stake algorithm, nodes on a network take or create new blocks by staking their cryptocurrency as collateral to validate transactions. Ouroboros relies on a different algorithm. The blockchain is split into epochs, each lasting for approximately 20 seconds, and is made up of fixed periods called slots. Each slot gets its slot leader elected by stakeholders and is responsible for adding one block to the protocol. The slot leaders must create at least 50% of the transaction blocks within a given epoch, and each block is approved by input endorsers whose election is based on stake. Each epoch or an epoch can be prioritized infinitely, making it possible to run as many transactions as needed. All users who participate in mining an epoch receive rewards for their services. So why not delegate your ADA to the Cheeky Pool? Link is in the description below. Anybody who owns a 2% stake in the Cardano blockchain can choose to mine a block. However, nodes with a more significant stake have greater chances of being elected slot leaders. The multi-party computation used achieves a form of randomness to make the slot leader's election as unbiased as possible. With this approach, it's as if each elector is tossing a coin and sharing a fair result with everyone else. At the start of each epoch period, the system selects leaders from the stakeholder pool. Epochs function as a snapshot of the blockchain from a previous date. Critically, epochs must originate from a block significantly deep or sufficiently deep in the chain of transaction. Depth is necessary to ensure network security and avoid the possibility of chain alterations. The technicalities of the system are impressive. Leaders get chosen based on fixed stake distribution and a random seed. This seed utilizes a multi-party computation between stakeholders in the previous epoch to generate randomly. Stakeholders can improve their chances of being selected based on the amount of ADA they stake. Consequently, Cardano introduces the first provable secure proof-of-stake protocol. Okay guys, let's talk about the advantages of Cardano. Now, Cardano is more environmentally friendly. You would have heard all of the stories about how much electricity Bitcoin consumes due to its proof-of-work algorithm and how much money has been saved and energy has been saved since Ethereum switched and changed to proof-of-stake. Cardano's proof-of-stake algorithm makes it one of the most environmentally friendly blockchain systems, alongside VeChain, for example. It has been claimed that Cardano is 1.6 million times more energy efficient than Bitcoin. Now, environmentally friendliness might not be high on your agenda. What about faster and cheaper transactions? Cardano is much faster at processing transactions than, say, Ethereum. Cardano's transactions are also very cheap, costing less than $1 per transaction, which is a lot more palatable compared to Ethereum costing well over $5 per transaction. These fees, of course, do change from time to time. Cardano has a huge advantage when it comes to the peer-reviewed networks. Cardano's team works incredibly closely with academics to generate peer-reviewed research to guide blockchain development. Its nature as an open source and peer-reviewed blockchain helps ensure its survival and evolution beyond that of its parent organization. So it's hard to talk about the advantages of Cardano without touching on the decentralization. Cardano is one of the most decentralized blockchains in the world. We'll try to load up a chart for you here. This chart compares Cardano to Ethereum just for example, and it's very clear to see the level of decentralization for Cardano versus that of Ethereum. The Ethereum essentially has 3 entities controlling over 53% of the overall amount staked. Whereas for Cardano, you can see that single pool operators control 21.32%, Binance at 11%. And of course, these are old numbers that potentially have been outdated, but give you an idea to the level of decentralization that Cardano has over that of other protocols such as Ethereum. Right guys, it's time to talk about the economies. So Cardano validators, also known as pool operators, and their retrospective delegators earn rewards for every epoch, approximately 5 days, on the Cardano network. Now, the rewards are a combination of monetary expansion and from transaction fees. The monetary expansion comes from the reserve. The reserve is determined by the difference between the total supply of ADA and the maximum supply of ADA. The total supply of ADA consists of all the ADA currently in circulation and the ADA in the treasury. In contrast, the maximum supply is 45 billion. So during an epoch, 0.3% of the reserve is distributed as staking rewards and treasury funding. And this will continue to be the case for a couple of years until exhaustion. From total 2 sources of income, a certain percentage, currently set at 20%, goes to the treasury, and the remaining 80% is used to reward staking operators and delegators. The treasury, also known in the community as the pot, will be used to further develop the network, system improvements, projects voted by the community, and to ensure the long-term sustainability of Cardano. Okay guys, let's talk about the ADA token. So Cardano's native token is called ADA, and the token has a maximum supply of 45 billion. The current circulating supply at the point of recording this video is at 35.3 billion tokens. That is the 7th of January 2024. At the Genesis block distribution, a total amount of 25.9 billion ADA was sold to investors, and the equivalent to 20% of that amount, approximately 5.1 billion, was distributed between 3 main entities: 𝗖𝗢𝗠𝗃, Emurgo, and the Cardano Foundation. Therefore, a total amount of 31.1 billion ADA was available at Cardano's official launch, with a total of 13.8 billion ADA set aside for the reserves and token and staking incentivizations. So the public sale saw 25.9 billion, about 57.6%, the reserve 30.9% at 13.9 billion. 𝗖𝗢𝗃 received 2.46 billion, about 5.5%. Emurgo 2.07 billion, 4.6%. And then the Cardano Foundation, 640 million ADA at 1.4% of the supply. I'll drop a few graphs on here. Hopefully they will give you a bit of an insight as to the distribution in the early stages. And as you can kind of see, the initial supply of ADA versus where it sits today. The expansion rate of monetary expansion is currently set at 0.3, which means that 0.3% of the reserve balance is released per epoch, and that sets off an annual inflation rate of approximately 2%. The monetary expansion is non-linear. Greater amounts of ADA are released during the first few years of the network, but will decrease over time.
By then, it's expected that most of the rewards will come from transaction fees solidified by the usage and adoption of the network. Now, ADA can be used as an exchange of value. Token holders can stake it and earn rewards for participating in securing the network. Users can also use it to pay for transactions in various applications and services on the network. Eventually, the ADA token will also be used as a voting mechanism in the on-chain governance. And so there you have it, guys. I think there's a lot of things you can dive down to even deeper than what this video is currently covering. There's a lot more that I could go into in a lot more detail for Cardano, but I'll leave that for you guys to dive into. I think this project is one that is going to be really well positioned going forward into the future of cryptocurrency. I do think the blockchain technology sector is going to grow over the years, and I think Cardano is definitely going to be one of the front runners. So why not go ahead and check out this video right here, where we recently caught up with Charles Hoskinson, and he has some really good insights as to the future of Cardano.